Hello, everyone, and welcome back to our second episode of Tomb Raider Anniversary on Izuna Entertainment. I hope that we are going to beat this game. It might take a while, but we are going to beat it. The Tomb Raider series is bear. Bears are dangerous, and I forgot how to adrenaline dodge with with the controller. So this will be weird and interesting. Um, But yeah, Tomb Raider is one of my favorite series. I have yet to play Rise of the Tomb Raider, and I want to so bad. And as soon as I can afford it, I am going to. Because I loved the reboot of Tomb Raider. It was lacking some, admittedly. But what game isn't whenever you're looking at it through nostalgia goggles from, oh my god, I love this original one so much. This one will never be that good. It's just the way that it goes. But it actually stood up pretty well, and it gave lore more character. And some say that it's a bit whiny of a character, and but that's neither here nor there really. It just all depends. The story was okay. If you haven't played it, go play it. You can get it fairly cheap. I don't. This might date this episode a little bit, but right now the Humble Bundle store actually has most of the Tomb Raider games on sale. It might not by the time that this episode comes out, but it should. Uh, Steam also has them on sale right now. So just keep an eye out, and you can find them for good prices, and they are really enjoyable games. If you have a chance, go play them. Anyway, this is the city of Vilcabamba. So I do not know if this is actually a real place or not. A lot of the Tomb Raider games have locations that are based on real life places. Ooh, wolves. But they are not necessarily real places. It just really depends on the game and the time. And for example, off in Tomb Raider 2, you're at the Great Wall. That is obviously a real place. Off in Tomb Raider 3, you're at Area 51. So there are some real places. You're also on the Times River in Tomb Raider 3. Ooh, I got knocked down by a bear. Anyway, but this place I don't actually know. I have never been to Peru. I don't even have my passport. Though it's something to look into one day. I'd love to travel. I'd love to go to Japan, actually. If I had to pick one place in the world to go, I'd love to go to Japan. And I guess while we're talking about that, where is the one place that you all would like to go? What is your dream vacation spot? Let me know below. And that would be nice. If you... Or maybe you already live off in your dream vacation spot. In that case, let me know where you are and what you like about where you are. Because some people are just happy right where they are. And there is nothing wrong with that at all. If you found that place where you feel that you belong, that is great. You notice that we get a little turned around while swimming because it took me a minute to get used to the controls, and we are very close to drowning. Well, not yet, but there we go. There goes our life bar. Once your your oxygen bar is depleted, your life bar starts going, and that is very close. Come on, come on, come on, come on, come on, come on. Oh, thank goodness. I really do not want to do that again. I would have if we had to, but this is also kind of cool because I don't know if this is the first Tomb Raider to do it or the second one. Tomb Raider Legend might have done it first, especially because this is built off of that engine. But if you notice, Laura's clothes are all wet. And for that matter, it looks like she is too. But as you run around more, she actually dries off. So that is actually a pretty cool thing. It's the little visual aesthetics like that that can just really make you go, "Oh, that's so cool." And man, those doors are just painted on. Uh, but yeah, I forget a little bit where I'm supposed to go off in this level because it has been a long time. But this level is it's not that challenging. That collapses. Whoops. Um, but it introduces some new mechanics, so it's kind of sorta a tutorial level. And let me tell you, the anniversary version is not nearly as hard as the original version. And that's both good and bad. Because remates and a lot of games off in general lately actually have had this bad habit of watering down the game for new players, and I do not understand this. Um, there is a reason why we have the phrase Nintendo hard. And that part of it is because you had such a small amount to work with that you had to make that game difficult so that way it would have those hours of replayability. But now we can make a massive game that looks beautiful and has no substance at all. And for some reason, um, some of those types of games really picked up and became really popular. So instead of getting new content for things, we just keep getting the same thing reskinned and looking a little better with an updated map and, 16 DLCs that you have to buy. And it doesn't have much of a challenge. We've got games today where while you're playing them, if you die too many times, it will literally play the game for you and give you a free pass. Um, Nintendo has been great about implementing that, which is weird because they used to be an industry standard. Um, and it's not a rant, really, and I'm sorry if it seems that way, but it's just, I don't know. Why should the developers dumb down their games instead of having people step up their game? I have no idea. And don't get me wrong, I am not the best video game player that there is. This is not even my particular genre that I'm really good at. My genre is RPG games, which a lot of people don't like so much anymore because they say that it requires too much strategy, too much planning, and you have to know weaknesses, you have to find the patterns, and they don't enjoy that. They say that it's too complicated, so they want something that's dumbed down. And there are games that are really great at doing that at the same time. I know we're missing gameplay and doing this at the same time, but um, like Zelda. Zelda is a great series, and it's a good example of um, finding that balance between RPG and action adventure hack and slash. They do it very well, mostly. Even Zelda has its trip ups. Um, but everybody's excited for the new Zelda game that's going to be coming out too, so that's really good. Um, yeah, that is a really good thing. Um, so anyway, we're here to this. Believe it or not, this is not that far from the end of this. Yet we've still got a little while to go. Mostly because it takes a couple minutes to be able to figure out the exact path that we have to go on. And it's very easy to miss something. So, sadly, that's just the way that it is. And we've got these nice big pools of water. Sorry. The thing about these pools is that often in the original game, they had some tiles around them that actually made them appear smaller, but they were crumble tiles. So that way, if it happened, um, you could actually miss a jump and you smack off into them and you die. So, um, they were very unforgiving. And off in this case, the jumps are a lot easier. There's more of them, but they're a lot easier because jumping and platforming off in Tomb Raider Anniversary in general is a lot easier. Um, so, though they did up the enemy count too by putting bats on most of the platforms, if I'm not mistaken. And those bats can be a little bit annoying if you're not expecting them. Um, well, I guess I didn't put any bats there. But, yeah, this is just the way that it goes off in this game. And there's a lot of jumping, there's a lot of angling, and, um, oh, now there are bats. Um, Luckily the bats are not that hard to kill, though. They normally go down off in a couple of shots. The problem with them is that sometimes they're hard to aim at, but luckily, there is a nice auto-aim feature. So, not... What am I supposed to do here? I think I need to jump to that. But, nope. Whoops. Okay. Then what am I supposed to do here? Sorry. There, like I said, there are going to be places where I get a little confused. So maybe I went to the wrong one first. Or maybe I didn't. I'm not really sure. Alright, so bear with me while we try to figure this out. Because, like I said, these levels can get a little confusing, especially off in areas like this where it's kind of dark and hard to see exactly what is going on. It doesn't help that my eyesight is not the best in the world. But if I brightened it up any more than what it is, it would actually look it would look horrible. So you got to be careful with your contrast and your brightness whenever you're filming something like this. Um, so where the hell am I supposed to go? Yeah, I guess it's just the other side. I must have either that or I missed something already. So let's go up this other side and see what it has and if the pool's different. Nope, still a pool. So still a pool, still water, still jumpy platforms. Well, that's not a platform. That's a crack in a rock face. So, I do like this new, this wall scrolling mechanic because it adds an extra layer and it doesn't seem like, it doesn't seem too unrealistic. And that's the good thing. You don't want it to really be too unbelievable. And that is the one thing that they tried to do off in the newer series and off in this series is they tried to make Laura not so much of a superhero. She can't jump impossible jumps anymore, and she does have an amazing amount of stamina and flexibility and maneuverability, but she's supposed to be a woman at the peak of physical health. And somebody who regularly trains and exercises and does this kind of stuff. And whenever you think about that kind of thing today, it is not that impossible to believe that somebody could do this kind of thing. That is, oh, that's what we're supposed to do. Okay. I see it now. But it's not that impossible to believe that somebody could do that kind of thing. We have people who run parkour, all the time. We actually have parkour gyms and whatnot in places in the world. So it's not that hard to believe that somebody could, use a grappling hook and run along a wall. Or that somebody could hold on to a ledge and... Ooh, that was very, very close. Hold on to a ledge and be able to swing to the other side using their momentum and their weight. And so now we have to go back up this side and do the same thing to get that door open. So, sorry about the backtracking, but it happens sometimes. But yeah, it's nice to be able to see that kind of thing. And it makes, I guess, a more believable character. Oh man, I missed the jump. But, and for some games, you don't want a believable character. You want a character that is going to swing around the 7 foot long sword and try to destroy the world off in one fell swoop. In other games, you want something more realistic. And Tomb Raider, even though it has that high mystical element to it, it's got a lot of realism. Um, it's also one of the first games that really had a strong female protagonist that wasn't. Okay, I was going to say that wasn't sexually objectified, but she was. But she had she was a better role model than some of the people and stuff that we had on television at the time. And definitely a better role model than what we had off in gaming, because in gaming at the time we really only had um, Princess Zelda, who has an active part in the Zelda series, but not really so much at that point in time, and Princess Peach, who might have still been Princess Toadstool at the time. So she wasn't exactly a good role model. And beyond that, I cannot really think of. Yeah, there's really not many other people or many other good examples at that point in time. It just wasn't done. Um, you could even argue that today you have a hard time finding this sort of thing off in video games. And that's something that's completely and totally up for debate. And feel free to debate about it, because I'd love to hear people's opinions on that too. Um, there are just so many interesting things. Ha! Finally, got one of those adrenaline dodges. But there are just so many things that are going on, and with gaming becoming the big industry that it is, um, or the bigger industry that it is, where people are actively taking notice, and you're getting more on the news about gamers and YouTubers and people trying to do stuff with video games and technology beyond just, oh, video games cause violence. Well, no, video games don't cause violence. And there's, we don't have necessarily just that argument anymore. And that's so good to see, because now we get people who are bringing all sorts of video games to light, and indie developers and all that other good stuff, and all these different types of characters. So it's good that we are getting stronger female leads. It's really good whenever we get some LGBT characters included on and off in games that are not just stereotypes or villains. Um, Video games are really making strides with the kind of information and characters that they can present to people. And that is an amazing thing, really. And it's so great. This is going to truly be a completely different age for video games and what they can do. And I cannot wait to see that. We're already seeing some of it with virtual reality. We've seen it over the past 10 years with MMOs, and really how they've blown up and changed things and gotten people together. Even recently, Pokemon Go created a huge internet and gaming phenomenon. We had never seen anything like this in gaming before. People were getting out and interacting with each other off in manners that, were not typical for the image that we had of a video gamer in the 90s. And it's really that 90s image that sits off in there, because off in the 70s and 80s, you didn't really have a lot of video games. So there wasn't quite that stereotype. And if there was, it was a bunch of teenagers getting stoned off in the basement playing Pong. Anyway, that's enough of that for today. We finally beat this level. So thanks for sticking with me, y'all, and I hope that you enjoyed it. Talk back to me about some of the stuff that we discussed, and be sure to subscribe and like this video. And it has been so great talking to y'all, and I will see you in the next video.